is worth asking and than not asking. So this is an opportunity for you to do that. So please, if you've got a question, please kindly ask a question now. The floor is open. And then after the question, we just run through a few slides, and then we tell you some few options in terms of, your career, building a career in R or solving a project in R, and how we can help, and how we can point you in the right direction. So yes, I'll stop talking now, and I will allow you guys to ask a question, please.
Yeah, awesome. So if you just raise your hand if you've got questions, just so we can have a look at those hands and just let you know once it's your turn. Thank you. All right, Mr. Ego, Chidozie, yeah, go for it, please. We can't hear you yet if you're speaking. You need to unmute yourself. I see.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, awesome.
Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. My name is Chidozie, and my question is this, because I've never used the R software before. I'm familiar with the SAS, but I noticed that some applications have been seen online for postdoc, especially in my feed, they said some of the requirements are a strong background in R is necessary. And when I saw your tweet about this module, I was very excited. That was why I decided to join. So basically, I've not used R before, and I believe that it is a skill that will further my career.
Yeah. Okay, so just to get you right, you're trying to understand how you can sort of transition from SAS to R.
Yes, exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
and I believe you've got a PhD, or you're working towards a PhD.
No, I already have my PhD. That's
awesome.
examined. So I'm looking for a postdoc.
Oh, okay, awesome. David, do you want to take that, because you're in the research academia space and you've got a lot of experience using a lot of languages?
All right. Thanks for the question, Chidozie. I think the one of the few things you need to understand is the difference between R and SAS. So basically, for SAS, you realize that it's something I call a locked-in kind of program, because they make a lot of money from it in terms of the company that actually produce the SaaS. So it limits you to some extent, because people are moving away from those enterprise that produce like SaaS into an open software kind of thing. So which we in this case we're talking about R, we're talking about Python. And so I am also in the research field, and I've used few languages. And now getting into R, it's actually going to be an advantage, because you've used SAS before. And but I think what you need to do really is taking a baby step into R. So in terms of the project, I'm sure you would have used you would have done some projects in SAS, which you can now start thinking of, how do I reproduce this project you would have done it in SAS, you now want to reproduce it in R. So maybe you start by taking a small project that you've done in SAS, and then you start going through the project and reproducing it in R gradually. Now, in terms of resources, we will point you in the right direction. There are a few ways that you can you can learn the R. So you can learn it in a boring, long way, or you can learn it in short, concise way. There are many resources on R, in the web, but are they all useful? Perhaps not. So, but we're going to talk about that later. But I think you stand a better chance in transiting from SAS to R because you already know, you already have an idea of writing, a program. Now, if I may ask, if you don't mind, what field of research are you into?
Okay, my background is animal science.
Okay.
So I'm specializing in animal nutrition.
Okay. And you've done field
second and PhD.
Okay. And you've done field projects in SAS.
Exactly. All my analysis, my data, all the whole data collected during the feeding trials were all analyzed using SAS.
All right. So I think you stand a better chance, moving from SAS into R. You just need to be to someone to point you in the right direction in that learning curve. We will talk about that.
Exactly.
After.
That's what I need. I don't mind reanalyzing my data using R because I have seen close to 3-4 applications that are related in my area. And they, for postdoc abroad, and they keep saying R, Python, and I can't go lie in my CV that I have knowledge of this. Only for the interview, I will go ahead and embarrass myself. I don't want that.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. Having integrity is very good. But yeah, we will talk about some pathways afterwards, whereby we have put together some things that we know that might be able to help as a beginner to take the first step forward, and then we can then go from there. It's a journey, but if you keep taking baby steps, before you know it, you start taking a leap, and then before you know it, you start jumping. So yeah. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. That was a really good response. And as David said, you've got an advantage because you already know the basics and the thinking steps. So yeah, so we've got a few other questions. I think that I saw a hand. So yeah, Steven. Hi, Steven.
Hi, Vanji. Hi, David.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. Nice seeing you again. How have you been?
Yeah. Good. Thanks. Yeah. What's your question? What do you have with?
Yes. Let me go ahead. I thank you for this platform, for this webinar. I have data analysis experience, but I do data analysis with Excel, SPSS, and the likes. And I've picked interest in R and Python for a while now. But starting up has been the challenge, how to get on the right footing, and especially learning the languages and how to apply and use it. So I don't know if there can be guidance on how to kickstart and start using R. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question as well. And before I let David's add his own thoughts, I think I think so many people actually they try to get into this field by learning too many languages at once. So you're at this level where you don't know much or even anything at all, and what I've actually really said most people is that they're trying to learn R, they're trying to learn Python. Obviously it's not really their fault. It's just that they hear a lot about R and then they go elsewhere and they hear a lot about Python, and then they try to learn R and Python at the same time. So from my experience, that's a really wrong approach, because you're going to get confused because you're not learning in a defined pathway. So I guess and one of the resources that we've got will really help you about how to actually understand how to learn R. So again, my best advice is for you to just get one language first, never both. Learn one first, and then maybe after a year or two, you can slowly learn the other one. But I'm sure David would have one or two things to add, and we can also point you to some resources that we've got that can help you as well.
All right. Thanks for the question. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but your video is okay. Your video is back on now.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the question. Yeah, I think the important thing here is that to know what limits you're gonna have or you're gonna get when you use sorry, my video is messing up. The important thing here is to know the limits that each of these packages is going to give to you. So learning Excel is great. In fact, Excel is it's a very dynamic tool. Even, can I say that even after you have learned R, you will still need Excel to do some few things you want to do. So, but the problem is Excel is going to limit you, right? Because there is a point at which you can get to with Excel that you can't really do much anymore. And that is when all this interpreter language comes in. Now, like Banji have said, one of the problems people have is trying to learn things, too many things at the same time. I'll give you an example. So I started off learning Pascal. Pascal, I don't know if you guys know Pascal. I think Pascal is one step ahead of Fortran. So I started off learning Pascal, and then I learned C++. And then when I heard about Python, I was trying to learn Python alongside with R and all sorts of things. But eventually, I became overwhelmed with all those things. So I decided, okay, I'm going to take one step at a time. So I started learning, after the C++, I started learning Python. And then when I learned Python, and then I realized that, the syntax is not that bad anyway, like it's not that different from R. So when I switched into writing R, it was quite easy. So I would say that you just need to take one step at a time. And I wouldn't want you to throw away the Excel. Excel is great, okay? But I would want you to transition from Excel into R gradually. Now, you can use your Excel as a control experiment. Like, you do something in Excel and you know what you're looking for. Now you can transition into R, and then you start writing the R. At least you know what you're looking for. If you've done it right in R, you can see it in Excel. If you've not done it right in R, you can see it in Excel. So that way you're guiding yourself in a project-based environment to be able to improve your R skill. And also, like I said, we are still going to show you some few things. We put together some packages that we feel like, yeah, this is probably a good way for people to learn R, and we're going to explain the reason after the questioning. I hope that helps.
Yep. All right. Thank you very much, David. That was really good input from you. Noting that you've come from Pascal to Fortran, to C++, and I think that was really good. So we've got Alima as well. Alima, please go ahead with your question, please.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for this session. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, I picked interest recently on this. Just like Stephen, I've been jumping from Excel to Python to data science. In fact, at a point, I became overwhelmed and I abandoned everything. I just need guidance. I need suggestion. I need advice on what to do. Although the second guy, sorry, I forgot the name, has suggested one at a time, but I still need guidance. I've been on Python at a point, I could not go further, so I left it. I went back to Excel. Then I thought I was good enough. I guess I got stuck at some point, so I left it and I moved to data science. So please, I just need guidance. I'm really interested in this. I need guidance. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. And I think your question is very similar to the one that Stephen had asked earlier. So I think the same thing that really applies to Stephen really applies to you here. So again, we're going to show you how to really get started in a risk-free manner, without getting overwhelmed. And with data science and data analyst, there's a bit of a difference between both. But I would personally recommend that you start with the analyst pathway first before actually going into the science pathway, because the science pathway is really more involved, because you have to start learning all this machine learning, linear regression. You have to start learning this, recommendation system, all these deep algorithms that you really don't know. So I always sort of recommend that you start as being as an analyst first before going to the scientist path. So which was why we sort of defined this webinar as R for data analyst as well. So I don't know if David have got something to add to Alima's question.
Yeah, thanks, Alima. Thanks for the question. Like, this is the kind of question we come across, and that's actually the passion, the driving force behind we coming together to say, look, we really need to do something, because we know that many people are quite overwhelmed by all of this, what's it called? These new technologies. And if you think about it, new technologies comes out almost every day. Now, I will re-echo what Banji have said. When it comes to data science, data analyst, I think I don't want to go into details here, but I think one should just first, you need to define what you want to do. So what you want to do with the data. Do I just want to analyze the data? So it's something to say, okay, I'm going to analyze the data. It's another thing to say, I am going to go beyond analyzing the data. I'm going to use the data to make, decision, to make, maybe a marketing decision, whatever. So if you go beyond just analyzing data, you've gone from data analyst to, data science, which is quite involving. It's quite involving, as Banji said. Now, the tool that you have been using, I think the way I answered Stephen's question, it should be one step at a time. But you have to do this step-by-step thing in a well-defined and well-guided environment. Otherwise, you will be frustrated. It's going to be boring. And yeah, that's exactly why we think, okay, let's organize something like this that people can actually voice out their frustration, and then we can show them the right direction, and something that you can do and you can still have fun while doing it, and you're learning at the same time. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much, David. So have we got any? I'm just gonna have a look if we've got any more questions. It doesn't look like we've got questions at this point in time. So yeah, so David, so you're welcome to continue with your presentation. And if anyone have got any questions, I'll let you know.
All right, thank you. So thanks, guys. Thanks again for coming through this morning. And yeah, I think it's for us. I can share my journey, and I know Banji might have spoken about one or two ways in which he also tried to learn all these things. But it's always a very, very interesting journey. I'm just trying to share my screen here so that you can have it. We can see, and I'm going to talk us through some few things. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. I'll share this other one here,
Yes, we
which
can
is,
see it.
you can see the screen. Oh, okay, cool. I will just share this other one here. Beautiful. Cool. Okay, cool. All right. So we made it a live Q&A session because we believe that it's actually nice to be able to give you guys the opportunity to ask your question, not just we giving maybe a sample data and trying to explain the whole thing, because we really want to know. We want to know where the problem is and how we can come in, and that's exactly why we made it a live Q&A session, so that we can design a material that will suit and address the situation. Now let's just start by saying, look, why do you want to learn R? You understand what I mean? So, which I think is one question that we should ask ourselves. Why do I want to learn R? Do I just want to learn R because it's a cool language, others are doing it? You take, for example, Chigoze's question. There's a reason for that. Like, he knows that if I learn R, it's going to open up a lot of other opportunities for me. And that's exactly why he wants to learn R. And look at Alimat's question. He knows that, okay, I'm going to progress. The same thing, Stephen's question. I'm going to progress in my career if I can learn this. Now, there is a sense that without learning the R, there is a kind of limitation there. And also because when you learn the R, R is a major language that is being used by many data scientists and analysts around the world. In fact, can I say that R is designed specifically with data in mind. So, and you can always agree with me that the volume of data we're producing every day is going exponential, like it's just blowing up, and we need analysts. So the data is getting bigger, but the analysts are not getting bigger, and that's exactly why we need the analysts and the scientists, so that we can get people to analyze this data. Myself and Banji work in the health sector, and we see tons of data every day, tons of data, and we see only very few analysts. And also because when it's a good lifestyle really in terms of salary, and in many cases you see that the starting salary for people that learn data scientists is actually like $100,000, and it goes around that range. So I think it's a good lifestyle in terms of being able to write a code, being able to understand data, and being able to make informed decision from it. And it gives you a wide range of opportunities, not only in health, people in research, they use it, people in the financial sector, they use it. Like everywhere that you can have data, you can definitely use the R there. And few other reasons that it can make you to be flexible in opportunity, and there are so many reasons you can think about it. Now the question is all about, how do I learn it? How do I learn it? Now, when myself and Banji came together, we started thinking and brainstorming about what are the things that people face. Why do they go through this ordeal of starting a course and trying to learn the course, but at the end of the day it becomes so unprofitable, it's becomes so boring. Now because many of us, we actually start by using online course materials in most cases. Now online course material is great, don't get me wrong, they're great, but there are too many. There are too many, and there's no one size fits all kind of thing. Now, there's so many online courses that the question is like the number one point is, which one should I start with? Now, what I found is that many people actually start with the wrong one, and then when they start with the wrong one, they decide to say, okay, yeah, I picked this one, and then they try to train themselves using that one, and limited guidance. And what it gets in most cases is like they're bored. They're bored, they lack, the interest is gone, and they become unsuccessful. And we found that this actually happens like, between 1 and 3 months of you starting, because, you are just overwhelmed by the whole lot of material. We would not recommend this kind of learning pathway for many that wants to study R. We will not recommend this kind of learning pathway at all for you to study. Now, rather, we will recommend a rather simple learning pathway. Now, where you have a well-structured learning guide. So we have a well-structured learning guide, and at the moment where we take classes on R, and we have been able to design a well-structured learning guide based on the feedback of our students. So we've been able to design a well-structured learning guide, that will take you step by step along the journey. Step by step along the journey. We might, if you think about it, any programming language, take Excel even, or even SAS or R or Python, there is a stepwise journey. And if you start in number 4 without understanding number 1, you will get bored, you will get unmotivated, and you are setting yourself up for failure. And that is exactly what you see when it comes to all these online platforms. Many of them are not well guided. So you have a well-structured learning guide and self-motivation. This is the point where you have to input something, self-motivation and online resources. You see, online resources comes later. And that is not unlike, let me go back to the previous slide. Unlike this, whereby online resources is actually the main thing for many people, and there is no self-guidance, or there's no, structured guidance. That's when they fail. But if you come here, you still see the online resources there. It's not that it's not good, it's actually good, but you need to have a well-structured learning guide before the online resources comes in. That is exactly when you can be, you can have a better probability of, being successful. There will be curiosity for you to learn more. You'll be willing to explore more, and you have developing interests, because like I said, it's a journey. Even we are still moving alongside the journey. We've been doing this for many years now, but we're still moving alongside the journey. Why? Because the technology space seems to change every time. So you need to keep moving alongside the journey, Myself and Banji were having a conversation recently, how Studio has now changed to POSIT and all sort of things. The world is moving. You need to move alongside, but don't try to fly when you don't know how to walk, So that's why you need to take baby step, okay? All right. Now, the other thing we try to do is, which I found quite interesting, and I found it quite useful when it comes to, learning R, is that, if you have a project, and let me go back to Chigoze's question. That was why I told you, I said, if you have a project already, it is actually a good way to start learning this course. To start learning this language. You have a project, and you already have something that you can invest that passion into in terms of learning, and then you can then start learning it. So what we do in Module Consulting is that we can discuss that project with you, point you in the right direction in terms of learning the R, and using that project, in other words, using your own data, because you understand what the data is talking about. That gives you a better understanding of how you will learn quicker, because you understand it. Just imagine that I come to you and you are in the banking field, or in the financial sector, and I say, here we go, I'm giving you a 10 million rows of health data. You may not really understand that quite well. But if I say, you have a project, right, in the banking field, in the financial sector, bring your data. Now we can work on the project together. As we work on the project together, you are actually learning alongside the project. So if you're there, doing a project, either in research, yes, you are more than welcome to bring your project in. And what we do is that we only have 3 slots, like, 15, 30 minutes. And then we can say, okay, now this is what you will need to do. This is what you need to do. Why do we do that? Because we know that one of the big parts of learning is that you yourself, you take charge, you take control. The reason why you do not succeed in learning is that you lose control, either from the resources perspective, or from the motivation perspective, or from the implementation perspective. You lose control at one point or the other, and then the whole thing becomes so bogus and so big, and then you feel like, oh, I'm done, I'm not interested in doing it anymore. But when you take control of your learning, you tend to learn better. So if you have a project, we have 3 slots available at the moment that we can discuss the project with you, and we can say, okay, look, these are the packages you would need, and then going forward, these are things you should do. How do you then do that? You can email us and on this email address, and then we can then help you out on how you go about the project. All right, now let's compare some few things as we move on. So we designed an online course that could help you. Is a low risk course, is a low risk package that could help you, and then we compared it with the other online courses. Okay, and the reason why we put this slide in is so that you understand where we're coming from. You understand that we are not just doing this so that, maybe to make money or something, but we are doing it because of the passion that we have for people that are finding it so difficult to get into this space of our programming. Now, many of the online courses that you see, they're so long and they're so boring. We agree. I've done some myself, and I know Banji have done some himself. They're so long, they're so boring. But we have designed an online course in such that it is so focused and it is so short, and we have structured it in such a way that it will improve your learning as you go on gradually. Now, the other thing is that the online course are heavy in functions, heavy in pace. You understand what I mean? But what we have done is that you will learn one function per time, and you will learn it in a systematic way as you go on. Now, there is also a one-on-one support from our end. For most of the online courses, there is no one-on-one support. You buy the course and then you start listening to the recording. Even if you don't understand, there is no support alongside. And we have a small community that we're building up, community in the sense that you can post your question in there and people can answer your question. Myself and Banji, we answer a lot of questions from our students, but on the online, you'll rarely see people answering questions. So, and that is exactly why I would recommend you, thinking about why have I been failing before, and taking a step towards, being successful in learning your art. So I will just pause a bit here. If there is any question, please don't hesitate to ask a question or put up your hand. We'll still entertain question at the end of the session anyway. So, but think about it. What are the things that made me to fail before? What are the things that made me to abandon the art before? And now, can I take a step forward? Yes, you can. And that is exactly why, we are putting this together so that you can take a step forward. So, we have a short online course for total beginner. I like that word, total beginner. That is, you really don't even need to have any skill when it comes to this. You're absolutely a beginner. Now, don't be too afraid of getting into it, but I think you should be a bit wary of getting into it wrongly. So, and that's why this is actually made for a total beginner. Now, it's short guide and there is short videos, no fluff, nothing, that you don't need. That is, everything that is inside there is what you need. There is learner support, there is one-on-one support, and there is community. Now, the way we have structured it is that you have short videos. Now, let me tell you how we made a short video. What makes the short video different from what you get online? Now, when you write a R program, you use a lot of package at the same time. Now, one of the things I have found personally is that there is lack of understanding for those packages for many beginners. And then when they use those packages, they just realize that, oh yes, I click this and it runs, or I click this and it doesn't run. But the reason why it runs or why it didn't run, they don't really understand. And what we found out is, if you understand the basics, if you know more about each of these packages, take for example the deploy library, and then you go to the tidyverse library rather, and then you go to the deploy package, and then you go under each of them and you see this is what this is doing, this is what this is doing, this is what this is doing. We have not really seen that in the market, and we have been able to design a guide, a course that would look at each of those packages one at a time, giving you a very simple short video about what they do. Now, when you have that understanding, next time you're going to run your R script, if it runs, you know why it's running. If it doesn't run, you know where to troubleshoot it from. And that's, we think, it's really helpful. And we have also put together a book and, a 6 common beginner library and how that can be used. We've put that together. All right, so we've put few things together. Data analysis in our pathway from zero to advanced, and it's just things that we found that is very useful, very useful. It might look small, but it is very useful. Thinking back now, I felt like if I'd had the opportunity to have all of these materials when I was learning my programming language, maybe I would have become a better programmer, quicker, So, but yeah, and that is why we feel like, yes, we need to do something, and we need to put something together in such a way that, you and people that are aspiring to get into the field, they will be able to get into the field. Technically, when you see something like this on online platform, you might be thinking of paying a very huge amount of money. Yes, we have seen it. People pay up to this for that. And then at the end of the day, they still fail because they are setting up themselves wrongly. But what we do, not even $99, not even $49, we're only saying, okay, make a commitment, and this is it, $29. And when you pay this, you will be able to get all of these packages, all of this video, all of this PDF, all of these rules of data programming that we have put together. And when you read that, when you look through the package, you will then understand, oh, this is the reason why I have been failing when I try to do it myself. And this is the way that I need to go forward in order to learn it. Remember, we are not saying that you will become an expert program by this. That is why we say for total beginners. But we are saying that this will guide you on the right pathway towards becoming an expert programmer. Because when you get the foundation wrong, everything you build on top of it is not going to hold. And that's why we want to take care of the foundation, and then you can move on from there. Now, the link to all this is actually given. I'm sure Banji is going to share this PowerPoint as we move on. All right. So we have let's say that, okay, yes, we have gone beyond the beginner. We also have, we have students that are going through this course at the moment, and this is real instructor-led hands-on training. Oh, I wish you guys see the way we train those boys. Yeah, hands-on training. We don't come to class and tell them, theories. Yes, we go through the theories, that's fine, but we also go through the practical session where they have to get them at their hands dirty. This is a 12-week program. And, I can tell you, like, many of the feedbacks that we have received from this program is, really, really eye-opening, both for the students and for us as an instructor. Like, this is wonderful. You understand what I mean? So if you are interested in that, it's a 12-week program, and we have put it together. You can always sign up for that, as well as some, if you've gone beyond the beginners class, you can always decide to sign up for that. So we're finishing our cohort 1 at the moment, and we're currently enrolling for the second cohort of students. And I want to tell you, you can't get it wrong with this one, because it's hands-on, and what we do, we focus mostly on the practical session of things. So yeah. And if you want more information on that, please, you can go through the link that is there. That is modoconsulting.com. .au. The point here is, we don't intend to take too many people on for this particular program, because like I said, our motive is not the money. We do have a very gainful employment, but our motive is more to do with getting people, transferring the skills to be. I have been working in academia as a lecturer, as a researcher, for many years. And my passion is always transferring the knowledge to others, But, this instructor-led is a perfect platform, in my own opinion, for you to get your hands dirty, know how to program this thing, run into the problem, right? I tell the students, I like you to run into the problems when you're doing it, so that we can guide you out of the problem. Why? Because when you run into the problem, when we're not there, you will know your way out of the problem by yourself. So run into the problem, get the errors, get frustrated a little bit. Let the frustration brings out curiosity and motivation in you, and then go from there. All right. So in terms of contacts, you can join our Discord channel, which we have put together here, or you can email us here. That is info at modoconsulting.com, or you can check our website if you need further information regarding this package. So we've shown to you 2 packages, very simple beginners class. If you have not written R before, start from there. You can start from there. If you think, oh, I've not done anything on R before and I just want to take a baby step, start from that. If you have done R, or you have programming experience before and you feel like, I just want to dive into this R, then you can consider the instructor-led course. That is probably more suitable for you than going to the beginners class, and then, because you already have that experience, but you can dive into the other one. So anyway, I'll leave it here now, and I would allow Banji to take over. And if there's any question, I'm more than happy to answer the questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, David. That was a really good overview. So again, as David said, the point isn't really to actually make money off this small package that we've got here. It's just really to sort of help you by providing all those resources. So you've got lots of ebooks, you've got videos, you've got sample data set and scripts that you can actually play with, and there's also going to be a video that would also add in a few days as well. Just a video just really to explain those lines of code, just so you sort of understand what each line is actually doing. And if you're currently working on your own data work, you're more than welcome, as David said, to just email us, and we would send you a link just to sort of talk to either myself or David, just to discuss that particular project that you're working on. So it's not paid, it's free. So again, the idea isn't really to make money off this, but to actually really help you with whatever it is that you're currently working on. Stephen, I can see you're posting some messages. I'm going to have a look at what the issue might be, or what I can do now while you're just waiting is just to
while you're doing that, Banji, I think Alimat has got a question. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Please go for your question, Alimat. Just give me 1 sec. I'll fix that up. I'm just going to drop that down to, was it 9? Was it?
Yes, please, Halima. Actually.
Okay, thank you for that presentation. Wonderful one. I saw while you were presenting that the beginner cost cost $9 and it has to be paid within 24 hours. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true.
Okay, I want to ask, can the equivalent be paid in Naira?
Uh,
I think Banji will be the right person to answer that question.
Yeah, if you just email me, you just send an email to that email address. I would also send that PowerPoint to you just so you've got a copy. If you just email, just email me. I can have a look at that for you. And the reason why we sort of put that 24 hours is just to it's just to really get your sense, get your commitment, just so you're actually really committed to learn. Yeah, so I think that really helps learners as well. So just send me an email and I can have a look at that. I'm more than happy to help you. And Stephen, if you have a look at that page now, I think I've just removed that coupon and just drop the price to $9. So you can just have a look. I think that should work now. Yeah, so it's currently $9. So you just have a look. Let me know. Yeah. Does anyone else have any question before we wrap up? Yeah, Stephen, go for it. We've still got some minutes. So.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Banji and David, for your time. I have this question to also highlight as a follow-up to what we've discussed tonight. For someone that is, for me, I'm in the disease surveillance space, and we gather data for surveillance, for disease detection and prevention. And there's this project I'm currently about to venture in. It's a data analytics fellowship, and we're supposed to develop a research project. So I don't know, can I mail you, Banji, so that we can discuss how I can use her for such projects? Yeah.
If you just send an email, and I'll send you a link to book in a time, and then you would have about 15 to 30 minutes just to talk about that. So to answer a question, yes, send an email, and we'll have a chat. So you can book a calendar invite. I'll send you a link if you just want to book a 15 to 30 minutes chat. So if you use this link, you'll see my availability, and one of us will talk to you just to have a look at that particular project you're working on. And Chidozie, if you want us to sort of have a look at that particular data set that you're working on as well, if it's something that you can share, that we can have a look at, you can just book in the meeting. We can spend 15-20 minutes with you, just to really show you what we think, and show you what packages you need to sort of transform that data set into R. So
definitely.
Yeah.
I will have to email you and see how, because the project involved 3 different feeding trials. Different parameters. So
No worries. Let's chat offline. We can have a look at and look into that project.
okay.
I think it's a very good practice when people bring in their data sets. It drives you to learn more. You understand? It serves as a driver that makes you to learn the package more. And because you already have an understanding of it, you would know when R is actually doing what you want it to do, or you want to push it a bit further to do more. So yeah, I would encourage everybody as much as possible. Please bring in your project, bring in your data. You need to check the ethics around it though, but bring in your data and you understand what I mean, we can discuss that and show you, okay, this is the way forward and things like that. Yeah. Any other question? Banji, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, so it looks like we haven't got any more. Alabi, Peter, yeah, go for it, please.
Hi, Banji. Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, please, I just want to know, to send you an email. Is it through the address you use in sharing information with us? Or
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
have another
anyway,
one?
yeah, look, anywhere, any address that you have will definitely get to me. Yeah, I just use
Okay.
what we've already got.
I'm also interested in, Alimat's question of how we can pay in Naira for the beginner's pack. So I'm also going to shoot you an email as well.
Okay, all right, awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. I'll have a look at that for you within
All right. Thank you.
within 24 hours. Yeah, cool. No worries.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Same with me. We in Nigeria, we have peculiarity with international transfer. Please.
I know, right? Yeah, yeah.
Please.
Yeah, no worries. We'll have a look. All right, cheers. All right, no worries. Yeah, all right. We better get going now to what our appointment that we've got, and yeah, we wish you all the best in your learning journey, and always just email us at any point in time if you've got any questions at all. So David and I we're always very happy to listen to you and to provide expert advice based on what we know. All right, I'll leave it there now. Any final words from you, David?
Oh no, I think yeah. Well, I think it's good to actually. I think it's good to take the first step towards the right direction, and I would encourage you to just do that. And remember, it's always a baby step, one step at a time. Before you know it, you'll be limping, and then you'll be jumping. Right? All right. We'll leave it there now, and I wish you the very best in your journey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, bye. See ya.